First Citizens National Poetry Slam, powered by Bocus Litfest, TTT, and sponsored by First Citizens. We put you first.
Good evening, everyone. And how are you all? Yeah, man. Clap up, clap up, clap up. And welcome to the First Citizens National Poetry Slam 2025. And we are in the semi-final round 2. Yes? So allow me to introduce you all, our judges, and give you some information of the wonderful people that will be doing the hard work this evening. Our first judge to be introduced is Abio Jackson. Next, we have Amilka Sanatan. Up next, we have Shivani Ramlochan. Up next, Sterling Kent, also known as a Gamma Ghost. And last but not least, our head judge, Miss Ariel John. At this point in time, you would like to invite our head judge, Miss Ariel John, to break down the rubric and the judging criteria for this evening.
Greetings, everyone. It is an honor and a joy to be present here with you this evening. I'd just like to share with you what the judges are going to be looking for this evening from these incredible poets we are all about to witness. First of all, for the performance criteria, we are looking at voice and articulation, which includes the range of voice used, the clarity of words or diction, as well as the poet's appropriateness of pace to suit the piece. Additionally, we look at stage presence, which is about the positioning and the use of the stage, their connection to the audience, their eye contact, their posture, as well as their levels of comfort and confidence on the stage. Thirdly, we're considering their dramatic appropriateness, the style of delivery, the gesticulations, facial expressions, as well as the appropriate movement to the piece. We also, of course, we're here to experience poetry, and we're looking at the writing criteria, the literary devices used. So, for example, metaphors, similes, personification, etc. Also, the use of language, whether they use relevant vocabulary to suit the piece, as well as the structure of the piece and how creatively they've been able to do that, as well as the level of difficulty. How complex is the piece itself? Finally, we look into the continuity or the storyline of the poem. Is everything flowing in chronological order? Is it coherent? As well as what is the message of the piece? The point of the piece and the message conveyed. Folks, do enjoy this evening's performances, and thank you for your attention.
So, our first wildcard performer for the evening is a lover of spoken word and storytelling, whether it's in film or written. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Eliana Ellis.
Your Honor, Cupid said unrequited love is the most poetic. Cupid said the artist and the muse could never be abuse. So I ignored every bruise that it left. And each time I bled ink, all I could think of was the applause from the dead poets before me. Because the love that I felt could never be a tragedy. But the exchange isn't fair. The boy gets all my devotion, all my attention, built up like some altar I could never forget to mention. And me, I get some poetry, which talks about his eyes, his hair, his voice, his voice, his voice, while I lose my voice. Now, each time I open my mouth, I feel like his name spews out as if I'm no longer a person, just a reflection of him, portraying his light while my own grows dim. Cupid said, unrequited love is the most poetic. Cupid said, what is love if not a narcotic? But now I've overdosed and I'm left with no cure. They say art sets you free, but can't you see I'm chained? Bound as the artist, forever Cupid's target practice. So excuse my temper as I call Cupid to the stand, demanding why he dealt me such a hand. Accuse me of being a villain? The world's most infamous weapon? Apparently, it's me who does cause the wars and stop them too. My arrow so blinding. My arrow does send people crazy. It's me who does make people forget who they are and who they want to be. The world's greatest villain holds an unsharpened arrow. You pointing fingers at Cupid as if you're not the one putting yourself through this sorrow. Love is a game I never asked you to play. So no, I'm not going to pay for your stupidity in the face of the one you call dare, or for the tears you shed when your dare stays elsewhere, because I only have as much power as you give to me. So excuse my lack of sympathy as I leave the stand a free man, because, Your Honor, the real villain is the one over there who trying to turn every stay into some romantic affair.
Our next poet to grace the stage, our next wildcard poet at that, is a man of many hats. You want to learn to drive? Check him out. You want to get a house into real estate? Check him out. You want coverage? You can get insurance too. Check him out. And you want great poetry and storytelling and the tool that he uses for change. You're going to see him tonight. Check him out. Put your hands together for Michael Logie.
Another order for 100 machines, hot off the belt. Convent, government, the reject pile. Yeah, the factory is back up and running. And each machine that is built must be equipped with maths and English, though we have some that are defective. So, for just $300 extra a month, you could install lessons for those whose cognitive power is a bit lesser. We don't install anything extra at this factory. Yes, we manufacturing machines at the MOE. Me, a poetic spokesperson on behalf of Guts B. the Lee. And as you can see, the gist of the knowledge is that one size must fit. So come, browse, look around. What quality you're really looking for? Boop. We have this machine here, very advanced. We sending them off to somewhere prestige. Convent. We giving them a fighting chance. We have this one here. Boop. This one, it might end up working for somebody. Comes with a basic plan. This one here. Boop. This one could real play pan. Musically inclined, but failing all them other exams. This one, boop, boop, boop. This shit ain't even program. Best we put him in our gang. Best we zone him. Best you zone him. He might need some extra tools. And you might look at the machine and wonder why it has so many loose screws. And then you look up here and see loose nuts. with a flat head. But yeah, sure we could tighten that, man, if we put a Philip in Philip flat head. It might be a head that not bolted onto the shoulders properly, but that making your gut wrench? Let's look at what some of the returning customers said. Boop. This mother returned her machine saying that it didn't have maths, but she noticed it sang. So you know what we did? Uninstall the musical competence and reinstall a 3 in the mathematics exam. Next, boop, this dad returned his machine saying that it needed a trade. So we sent him a new one because he definitely wasn't referring to electrical installation. But I could safely say that with the vast inventory at our shop, I will let you all know that we have children stuck. And we take a spray can filled with education for all and shamelessly shatter the students in the school system. I'm saying too much. Let's check out delivery address to every school. Let's check out every school for loose bowls that resemble Usain Bolts and Jay Hughes. Let's realize that a loose bolt could still become an athletic titan. Let's alter the return policy. A trade is also a way forward. You don't have to bring them back to the factory. Pay attention and you would see that some have a love for pan, a love for makeup, a love for glam. Education and learning is also about using your hands. And the way we think about needs a drastic shift because we can't keep manufacturing children, seeing them malfunctioning and still deciding to press ship.
Our very first semi-finalist for the night is someone who's passionate about social work. She has traveled inspiring others through community service and motivational speeches. She's actually graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Social Work this May. Put your hands together as I bring to you Anya Nero.
Congratulations, class of 2025, our budding professionals. They say, but what's bothering me is that a practicum student is a professional pauper, placed in institutions to apply the practicals from their theories in their final year of university, going to work from it to forever. Like every employee, their names present on the timesheet, but absent from the pay sheet. And I'm trying to add this up, but the calculation not calculating. You see, God took us from the dust of poverty. So, no, we're not committing crime. We're committed to the academic grind through the headaches and gasping bites and the chewing criticisms like, but at least they're getting Gate, right? Don't get me wrong. We are grateful, Mr. Gate. You are the vehicle that we use to be educated. You are the vehicle that we use to be educated. But the bachelor gas almost done when some students have to pack up their jobs and work over 300 hours in less than 3 months with $0. See, we practicum students are driven to develop TNT. But answer me, how far can a car go when it's driving on E? Exactly. So don't get us wrong, or excuse me, if we seem to switch personalities is not schizophrenia, it's struggle-frenia. Because when a student can't buy bread, they become butter, spreading thin to finish these everlasting hours. and feeding themselves or their families ramen, scraping to submit this assignment before 11:59 p.m. and rescuing patients while they're drowning and the suicide tide high because our students struggling to study and survive. Deadlines meet dinnerless nights. But they say, educate, graduate with a certificate. But a student can't tell when last they ate. But Sparrow sung and repeats. Children go to school and learn well, but it's like we walking through real hell. But call me Martina Luther, because I was taught to dream. First stage, write the vision down and make it plain. So on my first page, I wrote our names, practicum students and graduates in the workplace. I renamed practicum students from professional paupers to professional paid practitioners. I wrote, underline, and put in bold our names as present on the timesheet. So we could afford to study, practice in our field of industry, and help develop TNT. So this graduation, we're not just accepting congratulations, but we accepting change of actions.
I asked earlier, and a very enthused person answered quite preemptively. So let's bring that person on stage now. A performance poet, award-winning actor, creative educator, National Slam title holder. Put your hands together for Darren Sunday.
If you don't have a ring, then you don't have a mister. Utah Ben. You are one Utah Ben. And somewhere, some fellas trying to find a female fiance once fit to be a fiance. No, she is posing. They're trying to identify her by backside familiarity. Their prospects, flex, the ultimate vendetta. Bride or backside? A lady lava lecture to lessen any man who think he could little down a woman's matrimonial value. They shall be reckoned with an arch spine and an unhindered hip. But Ben, for who? So I talked to the first fella who girl was caught bending. He said for she to be bending, so she always had to be in a bending mood. Undeserving of anything that lends past his rude. No wonder she rendered herself see-through to attend to his views. She responded with proof that that man was one nudeless day away from poof, vanishing away. He didn't want any nuptials. He wanted a sex exchange. What was she expected to do? Have someone to keep her warm in the night? Or be alone in her aloof? I talked to our next fella who lost the girl to the bendum. He said, oh God, tall man, just walk one day in my shoes. Now he said he was hurt because his girl knew that he was saving up for a house so that their matrimonials could move to a space where they owned as two set stone in their Eden. All serpents will be slewed. Well, she responded with a hiss, so hard it pierced through his melancholic summit. She said a woman's version of blue balls is a man's unkept promise. He would talk, heights, take her to heights so high she get dizzy and vomit. He wasn't saving up no house for me. He just filled out some online application for HDC. So what was she expected to do? She said when you see her bend, it's for every woman who felt unkept for and uncovered. Bring the camera. She go show them she power. She show outside with she girls this summer. Meanwhile, a fella in a proposal pose, frozen, frigid in heartbreak's winter. You see this fella? He did everything in his power to win her. Dug a well for his wishes with her. Brimmed that well with whispers. He said, I will love you come drought or high water. She had no reason to doubt. His eyes were portals of love. But there's something about a song, when carried by a mob, will turn the most proverbial woman into a concubine of Solomon. Now each Ben bewilders her boyfriend. Well, he's an ex now. A hidden treasure. The last time I hear about him, he holding the camera for those with the bearing fingers behind the Lady Lava song. He is the new director. If you hear him, you to Ben, you to Ben, you to Ben. Click, send. You to Ben.
We have a Tobago-born storyteller who words hits like waves. Can I have a lofty round of applause for Scarla George.
She read him Proverbs 1:8-9, but he didn't listen. Listen, my son, to your father's instructions, and do not forsake your mother's teaching. They are gallant to grace your head and a chain to adorn your neck, but he didn't listen. And so they cut off my neighbor's head in Blanche's chairs. Clean, clean. He was his mother's first and onlyest son had set on his life. They hit him a Madura that compliment the machete because he didn't match at the speed of his partner. Was two of them the amigos were after. But my neighbor was a little slower, allegedly. As a child, I watched him. Slowly, he walked from home to the bus shed, never too busy for school. Slowly, he began to disregard the rules defiant, climbing the ladder of delinquents. Nothing new, just a father's absence and a mother who wrung water from stone to feed him, whose shoulders were rungs of a ladder. She believed in him, but he was a non-believer. And a real one to blame the policymakers who had the audacity to put pen to paper to subsidize and incentivize the demise of the black family with single mother policies when clearly 2 heads are better than 1 and 1 head is better than none. But my neighbor was headstrong till he wasn't. Like a modern day pirate, he pillaged parlors and patios the length and breadth of Tobago, till Tobago was too small for the skull he had in mind, and Trinidad Bright Lights was ahead of the time. And so he journeyed from beaches to Bocas. He rode the waves of the Caribbean, and at last he landed in Trini. Meanwhile, they came through the Gulf of Paria in boats too small for the weight of their desperation, a fallen nation where oil-rich dreams turned to dust, where bringing silence to belly grumbling was first and foremost. So they row, they run, they risk the deep for whispers of a better life echoed on salt and air. If the sea doesn't keep its promises, the land would, and the land good. They kept the head above the water while this country sinks deeper and deeper. It don't be easy now, like my neighbor head shaky. How? The twist and turn of time called the 2 journeys to align. My neighbor, once the pirate, now the pillage, laid on shore, all rhyme and reason washed away in the tide. Instead, he was hog-tied, laying on his side, face planted in the sand, grains slipping through time's hand. Even if he could count them once, he couldn't count enough to rewind. Time's up, heads up, door stand, kneel. So I knew he kneeled, begged and pleaded and called for his mother who he wronged and his father who he wronged. Your call cannot be completed as dial. And if he didn't know Espanol, I hope he knew Lo siento, por favor. But they didn't listen. And so they cut off my neighbor head in Blanchisseuse. I don't know if it was a 1 chop, 2 chop, 3 chop, 4. I don't know if he was eyes wide open when his head hit the floor, perfectly positioned next to his body of work. It wasn't worth it. And yes, the ocean took more than its share. No headlines could compare to the black bodies and red souls. And I really want to blame the policymakers, but it's we people who don't listen.
Our next poet is a the year 2013 recipient of the National Youth Awards in Performing Arts. And they have then given 14 years of their life onwards and is very active still in performing arts. A past student of the University of the West Indies, graduated in sociology, and she is here tonight to give you all everything she has. Can I have some fanfare for Shamaya Lewis?
Olia, I know this is a competition for poetry, but therapy too costly, and we need help. So, Olia wanna be with therapist? Remember, we listen and we don't judge. I want to kill myself. Well, we, like Venom and Eddie, she say I is she and she is me. She say, my back big like Hulk, so she smashes my appetite for anything with calories, 'cause pretty never weighed over 120. She say, I's a failure, like Loki's attempt at success, and I don't want to believe her. But when I turn like this, my back really kind of big. And it's true, I failed that job interview, so maybe she might be onto something. Or maybe she lying. What all you think? Wow, for therapists, that advice kinda lacking. You gotta understand, she speaks memories of 2009. Girls with stares deadlier than Cyclops will cup, corners to plot, ways to devise my demise. 2013, I made enemies of humans, 'cause she said I was a mutant. 2015, jumping from bed to hear something other than what she says. She says, like Professor X, I should have exercised my mind more than my legs. 2021, her sound, like black bolted black holes of achromatic kaleidoscopes, a vacuum filled with mistakes but still felt like an empty space. I had to get the credits rolling. I needed to cut myself out the plot, and I used to pray that the way God wrote in the sand, he'd write a reason to live in my hand or just hold my hand. But she say, God don't hear me. She say, I is the villain in this movie. She say, to marvel at me is to marvel at DC. Just a cheap carbon copy of everybody. And she says she speaks the truth. And low self-esteem has always known me, so maybe she's right. Right? But truth don't try to harm, right? Truth don't lock me away like Arkham, right? Truth loves. Truth holds me in the holes in his hand. What if truth is the absence of the lie I believed all this time? Well, I've had my fill. It's time to kill. All you forget therapist, client privilege, all is witnesses. Truth says I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Truth says my back might be big, but that is nothing. Truth says I am redeemed by thee. I am. And I still standing. She on the ground bleeding. So I was never she, and she was never me. Well, thanks for the therapy. Or you could go back to the poetry.
Our next performer is an author, entrepreneur, and a proud father of a four-legged dog named Daisy that has put him into expense with her questionable life choices. Long story short, he needs the money. Let us see if this next poet can earn some food for himself and Daisy. Make some noise for Kieran Isaac.
Thank you so much. It is such an honor to be accepting this Lifetime On Achievement Award on behalf of the Ministry of National Insecurity. It truly does take a team adept at engendering insecurity to put on such an incompetent production. Our team has also made history by being the first acting cohort ever to invest unsupportive actors in both a comedic performance and horror movie simultaneously for our production, Trinidad is Not a Real Place, directed by yours truly, Minister of National Insecurity. Lead actors made waves going up against citizen protagonists over the trivial issues as wearing camouflage tube tops and pom-pom shorts to fets, where it was incredibly difficult for our officers to tell if they were in the service or not. To quote a line from our movie, that bumper is too real. It's dangerous. And who could forget that baby adorned in a camouflage onesie? Did he serve in the military at some point in his past? And is that concealed baby bottle a weapon of mass destruction? We'll get to the bottom of it. While the team was so ensured that their camouflage was camouflaged, what could not be camouflaged was your lack of safety within your own households. Being broadcasted to the airwaves of vile, voracious, parasitic, pythonic phantoms. We would also like to dedicate this award to our girl Urla, who couldn't make it tonight. She got arrested on our SOE. It belongs to all of us. Earls, this is for you. Amidst all the attempts of camouflaging our shortcomings, we always ensure that your sense of insecurity was given the proper screen time it so rightfully deserves. For this, we would like to thank our amazing publicists, the media. We could not have done this without you. You have broadcasted our flailing failures, insurmountable incompetencies, and incredulous inefficiencies, and our lack of control over anything for that matter. It has been broadcast on a panoramic lens that's hard to pan out. Viewers of this mass misproduction have been led to purchase dogs like Rottweilers, German Shepherds, to shepherd them from the living decay affectionately called Mommy's Good Boys. The need for increased security alarm systems has become so alarming, and the search for increased camera monitors that monitor their houses more than Netflix. Are you still there? The ramifications and repercussions of our rambunctious offerings haven't scared you away. Another round of applause for you not being able to migrate. Conclusively, in recognition of this prestigious award, we'd like to say a sincere thank you for recognition of our stellar performance that we most certainly will not keep up. In fact, for our next performance, we promise to be even worse. How dare you try to cut me off? I still have to thank our videographer for capturing our worst angles, post-production for constantly posting this misproduction, hair for this hairy situation we're in, makeup because we couldn't conceal this, and last but not least, it would be a crime not to thank our amazing stunt doubles who've spent every moment not only eating doubles, but also using newly minted state-of-the-art technology to locate the best and safest doubles vendors and those with the best sauce. Thank you so much. Jesus loves you. I don't. Good night.
Our next performer is only 15 years old. Yes, a Form 4 student from a Bishop's High School, Tobago. We're going back across. Yeah? I love that. Let's go, girl. Yeah. I love the energy. I love the support. Out of the mouths of babes. Yeah? This is our first time here at the First Citizens National Poetry Slam, and it's the biggest challenge yet. But she believes if you want to be the best, you have to scrap with the best. Can I hear some noise for Sai Oliveri?
Wednesday evening, 6:30 p.m. The assignment. Students must draw and label their family trees. Armed with a marker, but nothing comes to mind. I am aghast. Total flabbergast. Minutes start to run, rush, gallop past. Reality comes with a lightning bolt, like a thief with a gun stuck to my throat, and I see. See, I have a brother with a father, but that father isn't mine. See, I have a sister with a granny, but that granny isn't in my family line. See, I have a mother with a husband, but our DNA is definitely not entwined, mangled branches of a deformed tree. Is that what's supposed to represent me, hanging alone by some invisible genetic thread? Who is my father? Someone famous, a nobody, or someone dead? I never asked. She never said. The grip on my marker loosens. Another broken bond. I am the ugly duckling lost in a pond, like a wintry oven waiting impatiently for a flame. Who to blame? A father with no name? 8:45 p.m. I'm nowhere closer to the end. A family tree should have deep roots. It should stand tall like an oak. But mine is an unfunny joke making me feel to choke, 'cause I am an unwatered sapling. My foliage not green and luscious, it darkly conspicuous. The leaves leave much to be desired. My family tree ain't no sparkly Christmas tree, lights on and nobody home. A generation of young people like me birthed into a world we already stone cold, allergic to empathy. Reciprocity. We cannot give what we didn't get. The hate we sell to you is society paying off its debt. They say that empty vessels make the most noise, but this noise isn't sighs or cries. This noise is the demon in our eyes as we distress lives. People rejoice with the news of a birth, but my birth was another hurt. A constant reminder why mommy shouldn't lift up, she's scared. Mommy, what are you doing? What happens when the greatest bend over turns into something sour? Short answer, a generation where love has no power. It is now 12 o'clock. I'm tired. Assignment due tomorrow. So I write my name Sahai Oliveri, and under it, just so that Miss could understand where my family tree is supposed to be, I'll just show a little black sheep.
Up next, we have a 21-year-old spoken word artist who has been performing for the past 7 years. He's a member of the oral tradition Roots Foundation. Yeah, woo! Big up Roots, man. Yeah. And through the things that he has done, he continues to pursue the refinement of his craft and himself. But what I want to make sure and get here, he is now a proud founding member of the boy band. And when I hear boy band, I can just think about the search in your timing, girl. Yeah? Maybe you know that. But we have boy bands back here by the name of Stragglers. Yeah, whoop whoop. Yeah, Stragglers have fans and sing by. So you might get some poetry and choreography. Who knows? Yeah? Can I have some noise for Jabari Collins?
I am a content creative. Content for my days to be spent writing in ways to cause minds to bend more than backs when young brothers start to play. All right, I'm gonna check the footage. Well, then I forget to press record. Okay, let's try it this way. I am a content creative. Content is the slave master to whip I listen. Every bone in my body moves to the beats of the algorithm. A sporadic dance. Most times it's real simple. Just put on a show for a minute and a half. You know, everybody have a short attention span, so make sure and keep the Instagram reels simple. Nothing too complex. Save your extended metaphors for your stage performance and them. And even then, you had to have a friend in the front row getting content to be posted after the show. Matter of fact, Tevin, let me make sure the clip's inside from now. So everybody, get your cameras out, make sure I'm in sniper's focus, and shoot me. Leave the inner artist bleeding on the floor. Then bring me back to life like Frankenstein's monster every time you share anything and tag the.stragglers. I jump out my skin, take off all my limbs, and monster a poem for you. With just a pen, a pad, and my lips. You just have to do me a favor and give the pen a click. Ooh, sorry, that's the kind of thing I do it for these days. The thought of a camera's click when shutters blink, and I think, yeah, someone sees me, someone noticed, someone saw this, and the moment moved them so much they just had to hold it. And that's sweet, but make sure they post it. I was kind of hoping I'd show that IRL unique, you know, diversified in my craft. Have myself out there so someone's interest would be piqued and they'd hail for the collab. Anything to get more eyes on the boy band. The team spent a month calling meeting after meeting, working real hard. We said this wrongs or they're going on seating, because men in their bag never saw a group of youths more dedicated to their brand. Damn. I can't even say to the craft. Unless now this is what the craft is. Where every artist has to be a content creator and the content creators get to be artists. Now the engagement with the arts is not something I'm mad with, but it's a hoot and a half that I have to keep my eye on, certified Zion, for next year's National Slam. All right, stop. For the sake of the media, I need all to react more than that. So I'll run it back, and all you make sure to get some good clips to tag the man after the fact. So one more time, bring the vibes. Any cameras out? Nice. I said I have to keep my eye on Certified Zion for next year's National Slam. All right, thanks. See, I'm a content creative. Content to serve you content on silver platter and neatly plated. I just need you to follow these 2 Instagram pages, Jabari_Collins_ and the.stragglers. And I'll keep you posted. I promise.
Who here wants some more spoken word? Say me. Who ready for the show to continue? Say aye. Our next performer is someone who's very passionate about Poetry Slam, consider themselves an enthusiast, and they are deeply engulfed in medical studies at the University of the West Indies. Put your hands together and let's hear some noise for Darian Cunningham.
Imagine living in a home where random people could just walk in and pull you out from under the covers just for you to uncover what's wrong with their lid. Like can openers pressing into you and you just have to respond with an, "It's okay, thank you, have a nice day." Daytime, wake up. Welcome to the life of a medical doctor. Overworked, understaffed, underpaid. Some of we don't even get a chance to bathe because we out here at your service. But when your serve is reasonable to get a little gratitude. But in Trinidad, you just have to collect one set of attitude here. You just hear it. Mount Hope have no good doctors. And you just have to wait. Well, here now, buddy. You didn't have to come through the gate. You really here for the blood test or you just out here trying to test my patient in cardio ward having heart attack? And you want me to stop and help you when you just hear fasting from a backtrack? Well, you could backtrack and go private. Because right now I fed up and dies it. We have to be working 24-hour shift and have to disguise it, hide it, take it from the people we serving. You working 9 to 5 and complaining the most. You ever come Mount Hope and see a sign saying hospital closed? And yes, I'm not saying that your sickness doesn't count. I'm simply stating that you can't count the number of lives we have to be saving up there in emergency. Understaffed, but still working endlessly. Right now, I have 2 children that don't even know me. Them just watch a picture on the wall and say, "Hi, Daddy." Because Doc ducking from the responsibility of his family to be responsible for your health, heading to Mount Hope 3 o'clock in the morning to hear, "Hey, Doc, you must keep your cool in all circumstances." And I just here to say that is we life. We sign up for this, so we had to take it, like it, no, but we can't be human if we work in 24-hour shifts. So sift out the bad talk from your head and remind yourself, "Doctor, remember that you're not a human. Doctor, remember that you could take anything from anyone. Doctor, fed up of inhumane treatment. And it's time we stand up and make a statement. We have children too. We have feelings too. You care for us, and we care for you. You can't be coming to me cussing and kicking, then one hospital room, bed, curtain. You sick, but my heart hurting. Your jaw only bumping, and my heart here jumping, walking, and like a wuss. My payment is just 2 stoops and a course. Yes, you have to wait long, and that's not right. Yes, they must hire more doctors to join in the fight. But the defiance to the ones that giving you compliance is a kind of science that I just can't understand. And when you cock up your foot and say, the day done. Then she walks in, a Spanish woman. She say, "Come right now also." I say, "See?" She say, "You is muy stupido." I say, "See?" You know, it's only after I realized she was calling me a stupid. Or you see what's going on with we? We trying to help, and all they getting vexed. Nobody stopping to text, we all in demand. And to demand that I see to you, when my patient about to take a deep dive into the blue, tells me that it can't be just the Batchak's thing that need fixing in you.
So, Our next performer take the stage comes from a family rooted in arts and performance. She started at the age of 5, yes, with a deep passion for what she does in spoken word. She believes that she is the distinguished voice for the vanguard of spoken word. Put your hands together for Nicoda Atherton.
Quick announcement from me. Hear ye, pinkies up for royalty. Tell me, what is your legacy? Heard you come from the same bloodline like me. The bloodline that break yokes and set people free. The bloodline of provision and no poverty. The bloodline that delivers without paying FedEx fee. The bloodline that starts on Calvary. I hear them talking down low. To be honest, it sounds like jealousy. They say we cut from a different cloth, set apart and holy. New creatures whose minds are transformed completely. A city that is set on a hill can't be hidden, you see. The salt of the earth is what they call in we. Let me get you a rundown. Roll out the scroll some more for me to tell the story. So incline your ear to hear, pay attention, because the air, this is the heritage of an ear. Listen to the knowledge I want to share. So we are part of a kingdom, a royal family. Can't have two kings ruling, so you better remove self immediately. One king on the throne and this one can't be moved. So whatever is his will, that you better choose. Through obedience and righteousness, there are things we gain. In both heavenly and earthly places, the blessings reign. Protection. Protection. Earthly royals will say they need a gun, yeah? But in the kingdom, all weapons that form will never prosper, hon. Power. Yes, power. A control mankind play with for fun. But in the kingdom, every serpent, witch, and warlock does look for cover and run. Earthly royals does eat until their belly run. But kingdom royals does starve their flesh until their spirit man strong like an ox and can't be refrained like Hulk in a box. I just be so confused when I hear my brothers and sisters fret. Oh, their needs can't be met. We serve a king upon the throne who could provide your every need. But the word of God, you better read and do as he plead, because hearing without doing, you will never succeed. And since we're on the topic of sharing advice, I want to mention something that I find disrespectful in this life. When earthly royals in the midst, every man does stand. But in the presence of the Lord, you're sitting like a remote control in your hand. You see the benefits of the kingdom you want for sure, but the word of God you never adore. But it's not too late to get it right. For the things of God, we must do with all we might. Hear ye. Time to close this scroll. May the salvation blood of Jesus Christ take total control. May our destinies be fulfilled as we serve the one true living God and walk in his ways, which is his only call. Hear ye.
Right. Moving on to our next wordsmith. This person has a passion for spoken word. They are also a farmer philosopher and an agro processor who believes that his work bridges activism, heritage, and the powers of love. He says for you all to step back and enjoy the show. Make some noise for Jabari Lynch.
What is the king of foods? A question I pondered, in deep meditation, standing in line, trying to decide what first to buy at an all-you-can-eat buffet. The king of foods. Is it macaroni pie? Grilled chicken? Callaloo? Maybe spaghetti? Meatball? Salad or tofu? Maybe fufu? Pizza? Hummus? Doubles? Forget beanie? Roti? Passed through the centuries, through our matriarchs, and their matriarchs, by their deity do we eat. Through their hands, we find our diet. While holding up the line, others behind heard me mumble to myself. Rather than grumble, they tried to help, suggesting menus and lists of foods, casting crumbs and crumbs on flambés and tiramisus. One person said, pilau. Another, fried pork pau, beef tartare, caviar, pig feet, oxtail, wild meat, hamburger, shepherd's pie. One lady jumped up, did a little wine, and said Spanish rice. One said sushi, mochi, gulab jamun, black cake with a side of macaroons. Yeah, maybe bread instead of falafel, jollof, pastel. One guy jumped up, rose, paused to correctly choose his words, and he said, the answer is primordial. The answer is primordial. What did our ancestors gather around the fire to serve and eat together? It was soup. The king of foods is soup. And we listened as he began to retell the recipe by his father, chanting, my soup is oily. Globs of oil float and tote no weights on their backs. Streams of heat rise from the soup simmering through cracks of being. As the components correlate and coagulate, my father made the soup. My father made the bowl. Soup swimming in it, boy, my soup is oily. I gaze at its rhythmic formation, my spoon moving like the hand of God. Some divine providential, heavenly residential, my spoon moving through that red liquid like Moses' rod, moving through those deep, oily seas. Soup, bubbles, lava, love, dumplings bump on lentil peas, pieces of garlic slip on pumpkin bit. My spoon is moving. They dance so cohesively. Spaghetti slither on celery stalk, carrot drop on spot of black pepper. All these different ingredients cascade and parade so happily. The scent soft, sweet to the nose is greeted, so different. Parts become whole, so separate. Parts become holy, so separate, yet together. All blend to make unique flavor, because carrot can't be carrot without dumpling. And pumpkin without lentil loses its something, you know, the different together, yet different. Yet no need for revolution, no black pepper movements or garlic coups, no dashing dictatorships, no 400 years of carrot chatas review. They marinate together, bound by the boundaries of the bowl, made by my father and your father. My spoon moves and takes and grabs, all bets fall into my throat, into my stomach, into the place of being and not being, the divine hope that we may one day hope to grasp. So, if it wasn't for being eaten, I wouldn't mind swimming in that soupy utopia made by my father and yours.
Our next poet hails from Sawa. Where is Sawa, people? You don't know. Put your hands together for Shaquille Warren.
Put on your mask quick before you get sick. It have an infection airborne, be warned. Probably it originated from porn, and as a result it turning fellas into pawns. What really going on? Tustiness. See, fellas nowadays buried under the rubbles of sexual content and Instagram models, staring at body parts for hours and hours and hours, then going outside and feeling like every girl is ours. Ladies, you know, On every corner, workplace or function, it have them high men. Who they stare at your crotch till it bore a hole in your high men. The fellas who could spot a woman from the corner, imagination take them on a trip like a Korea to experience some sort of euphoria. Ladies, before you give these fellas a chance, they must be screened. Because they go expect you to do exactly what they're watching on a screen. But if you ask, them fellas go protest, they go profess. Women getting harassed because of how they dress. Yes, they go suggest you make your skirt longer or alter your dress, carried by a tailor. So, you will not need to seem stressed. And most times, that's the explanation that's provided. But as men, we need to take accountability and be reminded, sexually harassing a woman based on her apparel is literally close-minded. Close-minded and hazardous. Close-minded and hazardous. Nothing about sexual assault in any form is glamorous. Nothing about, that thing fat girl is glamorous. Just ask the ladies, it's unanimous. It just exposes an individual who is ignorant or pusillanimous. Pusillanimous like Trinidad Batman, who thinks it's a societal norm to post revenge porn just to embarrass and defile every time he upload the file. Then under comments you find women hysterical writing essay about all the time they were abused and essay. Fellas, listen. Every conversation don't have to be a vice scene. So get some therapy and wash your eye with some Visine, because according to my research, tostiness is the biggest downfall of man, behind prostate cancer and Manchester United. Because when that spirit is ignited, it's such a drag. That mentality is like that $2 million thing in Macoya, the biggest red flag. So I hope you're listening. I hope you're listening, because we as men were taught everything except sexual discipline. Grew up to think we could only get birds if we start whistling. This happens in the jobs, the offices, even the police stations you're commissioned in. I mean, it's like sexual harassment is some unwritten ancient rule on a parchment that creeps into the cracks and crevices of every compartment, into every organization and department, even into the mind of a landlord that wants to sleep with tenants just to stay in his apartment, fellas. Unless we as men learn to have respect and nurture, then all of our stares will just escalate a situation further. Then young boys will grow up thinking that the essence of being a man is determined by how much woman they could pull, until they turn into cowboys and matadors, always chasing after a bull.
Our next performer to grace the First Citizens National Poetry Slam stage began writing since 11 and has then moved on to hone her craft and better herself to be here today. Can I have a lofty round of applause for Shamika Noel?
My father taught me how to fight. That the fetal position covers vital organs just in case you're not strong enough. And just in case you live long enough. My mother taught me how to have my slipper in hand or go barefoot if needed. But somehow I still never make it out the door. And when I tell my granny this boy in school was hitting me, she tell me, oh, he like it. So I took the thorns instead of the roses. Hope that his hugs no longer cause bruises. My father taught me how to hush before I really get something to cry for. So when he throws me on the floor, I stay silent. Fetal position as he thumps and kicks, put the music on high to hide his abuse. But he loves me. He kisses me so softly after. It's only laughter between us, and between us, he's just troubled. Never had a woman that could stick through the struggle and dies what does make her a good woman. When the both of us work 9 to 5, but only one of us washing dishes, and cleaning is a woman's sport. Only one of us have time to go PTA meetings and home cook meals. And for a black household to function, it's 50-50 on bills and 100% on me. Everything else, is not a strong black woman. Statistics show black women are low quality. We angry for no reason. We black women love a broken home, so I hold my house together like bricks. Use grout on the cracks, paint the walls red so that the blood will be easier to hide. My house consists of blood, sweat, and tears. And I tear myself apart just to look whole. Always pray for predator. To satisfy man carnivorous behavior, I never learned how to be a good woman. So laugh and cry does live in the same house. And my house in it, give it hospitality and it doesn't want to leave. I tried to leave, but my kids never learned slipper in hand. Them never saw the abuse, never use unnecessary force like armed forces. So how I could explain to them that this house is not a home, it's a hazard, a sacrificial ground for blood. I had to tell them the truth. And the truth is, the night I packed them in the car, I couldn't escape too because he kicked down that door like a break-in and I couldn't breathe. As his hands became a weapon, my only option was to save my life. So how victim turned suspect? What all you expect? My kids to see mommy in casket? What I guilty of? Surviving? Escaping my own unaliving? I never wanted to kill him. I just wanted to stay alive. I wanted to live long enough to teach my daughter that love don't come with blows and hugs, don't make you black and blue. And if your slipper always need to be in your hand, you're in danger. And when a man call you his flower, make sure he doesn't mean exotic and endangered. Don't wait till it's too late. Because eventually, the choices becomes survival, death on arrival, or victim to suspect. I am suspect. And the verdict, voluntary manslaughter.
Our next performer to add to the lineup of greatness happening this evening is a lover of all things theater and performing arts. And he really he's only a friend. And he strongly believes that all the work he does is to inspire godly change in the world. Hallelujah. Yes? In the world around him. You have it correct. Make some noise for Ronaldo Briggs.
All right. Settle down. Class is in session. I am your friendly neighborhood mathematician here to solve the biggest problem facing this nation, the equation. Gangs equal M plus C. Follow me. First, find your area. Walk along its perimeter, survey the length and breadth. I bet each set of 6, 7, and 8 intersect below the poverty line, sloping slowly into the stomach of sin. Surprised? The souls of our sons stay subtracting from society still? Or have you factored? This nation exists in an improper fraction where the demands of the rich weigh down the poor. Hear them pound on government doors for an ounce of care, but are met with tons of excuses. Some take to the gram to vent, while others take up grams in hopes the conversion rate would raise them out the rat race. In this state, at a young age, men calculate probabilities of survival. Phantom for a father, plus mother scuffling with the minimum wage, times prejudice against the ghetto, That boy know his chances real low, so he bets on the block, invests into the gang life in hopes his pockets compound in interest over time. That's why he'll inch into yards to take away cars and deduct lives. No care if he divides citizens from their sense of safety when he is squarely in danger of being rooted by poverty. Trust me, he'll try every angle to escape his fate. So see, when the ruler measures out 500 to flatten a body, he'll circle the ends for piece of the pie or diameter from tasting his slice. Now, class, I hope you paid attention to today's simple mathematical lesson. The answer to the equation is gangs equal poverty plus desperation. Yes.
So guys, we winding down, but we still have some more great spoken word for you all. Our next poet is one that uses rhythm, rhyme, dynamic storytelling to capture the audience, that paints a vivid picture. No stranger to the slam. Can I have some fanfare for the one and only Seth Sylvester?
The day I leave you, the day I leave you, I started to see my way. Before I used to wonder where my salary going, but now I'm starting to see my pay. Now there's more money in my pockets. And no, I am not Daniel with Nebuchadnezzar, but I foresee that I'll be making more profits. And I know you will not understand that line, because you don't read your Bible, you little Jezebel, you little serpent, you Satan's disciple. It's you who sent for Job when God gave him the right to. And then you come to me trying to repeat the cycle. You had me so endangered, unstable, my survival. I call all the archangels, Gabriel, Michael. I say all my prayers and stuff like I'm trying to get rid of the Gasparilla buck. I throw black tail, I burn in guhulu, hoban, incense, I read Bible, I use salt around the house, I put garlic, lemon, lime, water, 7 spirits, spirit of springtime, red lavender, yet still, I was catching my tail. I couldn't catch myself. With you, I catch every flu and everything bad for my health. For you, I used to spread myself thin, and I done thin. I get skinnier like stage 4 leukemia. If I had given you any more blood, I would have experienced hemophilia. You used to drain me. And everything that could go wrong was going wrong. And round, and round. Running reps. My career was developing. It then regressed. What was easygoing became stress. What was contentment became regrets. It had to be something like a hex, because it went from one thing to the next. I couldn't see my way, questioning if this is the result of some bad karma. Do I need an app like Google Map because I couldn't see my ways? But then you came over one day, and we had our usual interaction. That's when I started to burn a sage. And you caught an allergic reaction. Allergy to sage? There shouldn't be none. The only logical explanation is that you is a demon. Eureka moment. My eyes were open and I could see. All the time I live in wholesome and heavenly. It's you who come with your heavy self to heavy me. And I didn't need any hypothesis or conclusion from biology or physics. I am Trinbagonian. The only proof I need is to feel it in my spirit. And that was the day I decided to up and leave. The day I up and leave was a blessing. A blessing. But then I saw you the other day. And you're looking like you're living nice. Face more round. A smile has replaced a frown. Even whiter teeth. Skin glowing from your head to your feet. 4 locks in your hair looking neat. Like your entire glow up complete. Like you're doing better off without me. And your future must be bright. That's when I had to ask myself, what if I was the blight?
Our next scribe is a father, a husband, hailing from San Fernando. Lovely, yes. And his love for words has grown to rival his love for mathematics. You see, that hurts me. I'm now traumatized. Yes. He bright like bulb. He looking like it too. You'll see for yourself. Put your hands together for Joshelle Johnson!
Now, for lots of guys, marriage is great. But the problem lies where husbands find themselves between a rock and a soft place. Night after night, nestled next to the wonderful woman we love, but never wanting to stop, just at cuddles and hugs. You see, usually my boo would be in bed before me. So when I come in the room, AC on 23 degrees, don't teach what to do on a sheet. So I just do what comes natural to man underneath. You see, under that fleece, when our bodies are sealed from chest to feet with no space in between, the warmth of her skin in that cold breeze is comparable to a scorching cup of chamomile tea. Except it don't permit to sleep. It awakens a beast. Her signature scent brings out something in me. A dragon, a kraken, but I start to feel like I have werewolf genes or vampire teeth. And she feels like meat, like just what I need after a long, hard day of work and stupidities. My body calling for it like juice after a meal. After each sour day, she's something sweet. She's icing on cake, a ribbon tied neat, the perfect end to make the thing complete. So since love is a verb, show me what you mean with your actions when it is you wish me sweet dreams. Take me to paradise without having to go far. Give boy a massage for me favorite spa. But what I often hear are things like, you ain't tired, boy. Or, what about in the morning? Or just, not tonight, nah? You always ever study what it probably does to men inside just because we more extra bored when we talking sex drive? I mean, once every 4 or 5 days, all right, but once every fortnight? Oh, go, boy. And don't give me just because you feel sorry for the Dan. Whoa, a sympathy jam for a toasty man. I want to feel like you yearn for me, thirst for me, be a perv for me. And not just on birthdays and anniversaries. That reserved for the special days thing, that don't work for me. Serve me just a little more frequent. Right now you're in the shallow, I want you dive off the deep end. I want to drown in it. Be deep in your loving. But I feel like we only dip in since it don't happen often, and this hunger, it's real. So understand how I feel when all I get in is samples, but I could do it a meal. Buffet style. All you could eat. The tricks with the treats and the sauce with the meat. But I feel like you watching this give force in the teeth, and I say, man, just behave myself when I go out in the street. So when I reach home in the night, all charge up, and I think it is rose petals in the bathtub, and your face like hard locks. My drive high, but you park up. My mind on dinner, because I made a promise to never go out there and have lunch. Mom, just imagine all pain and anguish when loving is withheld, and that's all of language. Love us in a slang which we would understand. If you get on like a Jamit, put down the walk like a Spanish, you could slowly watch your wishes become commandments. You cook now, look how you made a chef from a sandwich. Your personal plumber, your handyman, your mechanic, cockroach killing, bag toting, card swiping husband is me, girl. So ladies, I'll tell you the same thing wifey told me just the other day when we had reached home from the grocery. I park, she disembark, and she know the trunk pack. Don't forget to empty the back.
So at this point in time, I would like to invite a member of the Bocas Lit Fest to come and let you all know the results. Can we introduce Alette to the stage, please? A round of applause. At this point in time, the wild card is now tamed.
Michael Logie is the wild card winner. Poets, we have a lot of new faces, dark horses in the race. If you slip, you can slide. Michael, congratulations. Have a good night.
I was your host, Thady Boom, the Harbinger of Vibes. It was my pleasure of being of service to you. Reach home safely. We appreciate you all.
First Citizens National Poetry Slam, powered by Bocas Lit Fest, TTT, and sponsored by First Citizens. We put you first.